as a woman, we start to think like, I'm not even going to bother having this conversation anymore. It just is what it is. And you start checking out. And men don't realize it. And here is the thing. When we are fighting you on a thing and arguing on a thing and going to bat with you on things, we still care. When we stop saying that thing, it's not because we've healed or we are better or we're okay with it. It's we're checking out.
Are you single? Yes, I am. Introduce yourself. My name's Danica. I'm 28 and I'm from Vancouver. What is the kind of relationship dynamic you're currently looking for? Open communication, loyalty is a big one. That's important. And someone who actually just wants to hang out with me.
Love that. And what do you do for a living?
I am a content specialist.
Outside of work, what are your hobbies?
I live by the beach, so I like long walks on the beach. Also love the gym, and I have dogs, so I love hanging out with my dog, reading, love my grandma hobbies. So needle pointing is really fun.
I love that, your grandma hobbies. Yeah. That's the best way to describe that. We all know what you mean.
But I do go out and have fun. I like to go for drinks.
Yeah. What would be your ideal first date?
Getting a coffee and going for a walk.
With the dogs?
With the dogs in the afternoon, or hitting a happy hour.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it
so much.
My friend and I have been living together for 1.5 years now, and he's moving out next week. We're not breaking.
I did the same thing where I moved my stuff from my boyfriend's place. We weren't living together, but I had stuff over there, and I moved them back to my place, saying I have, I'm gonna just move it back. But I also broke up with him soon after, so yeah. The reach to justify his reasoning though is absolutely astonishing. Didn't he already live with his brother? Shouldn't that have already happened? What do I know? What do I know? I mean, unless it's his long lost brother that he didn't know exists. I don't know. He could be telling the truth, but I'm just saying.
What's going on, fellas? Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Leave a comment down below. Let's get back to the video. A lot of modern women continue to say that men aren't putting forth effort. Yes, I am. I'm just not giving you the effort because you on some BS.
So a few years ago, I read a survey that said that men knew within 7 months if the person they were dating was going to be the one. In my own personal observations over a few decades, a man knows within 3 months. And I am so confident of this that I tell young women, if you are looking for marriage, you do not tell anyone that. This is your own personal business, but you do not let him drag you along. You keep it moving. Do not let anyone lock you down for too long. So if you are currently in a long dating relationship, but you want to be married, and your boyfriend is giving you multiple reasons why he needs to wait, you need to do some introspective work as to what it is that you really want and why you have been with this person for so long. And if you are single and looking for marriage, you have your timeline, you don't share it, but you need to know how much time you are willing to spend with this person before you move on.
You guys, we have a society filled of very scared and fearful little boys in grown men's suit. And I don't even mean that disrespectfully. I mean that very realistically. It actually gives me a lot of compassion for men. You know how our bodies seek to preserve and keep us safe? It's called the ego. It does that. Men are so scared because they have been beaten down verbally, maybe physically, who knows, rejected probably a lot more than you realize. And so they live in this protective state over themselves. So if you've been rejected so much in your life and all you desire is to win and not fail, would you be really excited to go ask girls out on dates all the time? Men are opting out of dating, so what do? Read below for my thoughts and some ideas and tips that you can do to encourage men.
Men have started going their own direction and quit fixing the mistakes and the foolishness. And some of the stuff is not even a mistake. It's just you doing whatever you want to do and expecting a man to save you. And when I, as a man, have stopped doing that, my life has gotten a lot better.
Why do women think it's okay to ask men for money and get mad when you don't want to give it to them?
Ladies, stop asking that man.
But he wants
money.
To take me out on a date, Sarah.
I don't care.
But he wants to take me out. I was chilling
I love
today.
That. He's taking you out. That's the money.
I need my hair done. I need my nails done.
Then go get it done. And why is your hair not done? And why are your nails not done? Why do you not live a lifestyle till now all of a sudden you have to go get those new things? Also, even if you had to get a brand new outfit, why don't you have outfits in the closet?
I do.
Why do you
I
feel
need a
like
new
a
one for
man-
the date.
Why do you feel like a man
need a
that
new
doesn't
one.
even know you is supposed to invest in you? Because please believe he's taking you and 3 other women out. He's not committed to you. It is so expensive for a man to date. In fact, men, stop spending money on these women. I don't think men should do more than a coffee date.
This is why they call
Unless-
you a pick me right here. You
doesn't
telling men to
matter.
stop
Unless-
spending money?
No,
What?
If she asks you for $1, don't spend any money on her. And ladies,
Have you guys seen the video of the woman that is crying on her wedding day? And it is not because she is so happy about marrying the man that she's about to marry. She's actually crying because she's not marrying the man that she fell in love with when she was 17. What? Like, how is that not an indication that you should not be walking down the aisle and for that husband to be that poor man? He probably has no idea, because if he did, guarantee you, he would not be standing on that altar. But what is even more disturbing is that there's so many women in the comments that are like, oh yeah, I get it. I get it, girl. Yep. Sad day. What? You all are reinforcing another huge reason for a man not to get married, especially to a woman that has a past, which is most women. Like by the age of 25, they have somebody that they have fallen in love with. It just indicates to me that there's so much emotional immaturity out there. Like if you still have feelings really for your high school sweetheart, you should go back and try to resolve that. See if that'll work out for you. And leave the innocent man who has nothing to do with it, that has no idea, leave that man alone.
These modern women, you probably heard it before, Captain Save-A-Ho. That's what they're looking for, unfortunately. Now, they probably won't refer to themselves as that, or they might. Whatever it is, it doesn't matter. They want you to come save them. And a man does not have the responsibility to do that.
Nice guys finish last.
I'd say they don't even get a spot in the race.
No, I think nice guys win at a certain time and at a certain age.
That sounds like they do finish last with extra wording.
I think it takes the nice guy, good foundation, and then meeting a girl at that time who's like, I'm looking for certain qualities for the rest of my life.
I wanted to make this video to try and translate this message to women. This is how a man will interpret this. He has to wait his turn while you go off and have all these different relationships with other men, because what he offers right now, which may be a good foundation, is not something she's accommodating on her current relationship timeline. During this time, she'll have an endless string of possibly bad relationships with plenty of drama and toxicity. When you're finally done playing games, you're going to show up on his doorstep with an endless baggage of trauma for him to unravel and deal with. I've sometimes heard women say, if you can't handle me at my worst, you don't deserve me at my best. This is kind of a similar scenario. You didn't want him back then, so can you see how unfair it is to expect him to want you now? A relationship forming is only dependent on when it suits her.
A lot of these modern women, they say this type of silly stuff like, may the best man win and stuff like that. But, you know, a lot of these men out here, especially after a certain point in time, you know, kind of accepting the fact, because a lot of times men do realize, hey, this ain't going anywhere. She's not really serious. She don't really want anything with me.
If you want incredible physical intimacy in your marriage, it's gotta start outside of the bedroom, because it's not just about what happens when the lights go off. It is about how connected you are the rest of the time. When you actually feel close emotionally, everything else gets better. It's easier to laugh, to flirt, to let your guard down, and to want each other again. That kind of connection comes from more than just touch. It's built in the small, everyday moments. Talking, joking around, learning each other again. That's what builds trust, safety, and that spark that keeps things alive. When you feel emotionally close, the physical part doesn't feel forced. It's passionate, it's effortless, it's real. So you want deeper connection and stronger desire. Don't start in the bedroom. Start with the way you love each other with your clothes on.
When it comes to a girl, fellas, youngsters in the world, don't listen to no equality bull. Okay, men are supposed to protect and provide. You ask a girl out and you ask her to pay, you're a dork.
That's a soft.
Period. And don't listen to nobody talking about, oh, you're a thimp. Listen, bro, you can be called whatever you want. You don't want to let a girl pay. No. Even Dutch.
No, we're supposed to be protectors and providers.
But I put out a post once about this, and I had all kinds of young whippersnappers talking about, are you crazy? I wouldn't pay. You know, who asked who out? Depends on who asked who. Doesn't matter who the asked who.
It doesn't make it.
Men pay. Get used to it.
I mean, that just gives the perception that you can't handle if you're asking another chick to split the bill with you. That's not a boss move. You know, you got to be able to pay the bill. And if you're not able to pay the bill, then why are you on the date?
You know, a woman can say, well, I want a man to do this, X, Y, and Z. So the man does all of that. He does everything that you're asking him to do. Well, maybe not everything, because, you know, who does everything, right? Not a lot of people. But he's doing a lot of the stuff that you ask him to do. And you return the favor by doing darn near nothing, next to nothing. That's how you return the favor. Next to nothing. You're not getting anything. I'm not thinking about you. You can't give me a kiss on the cheek. Nothing. Now, with that being said, you tell me, what about that would be appealing to a man? And we can wait.
Dating in the United States of America has gotten so expensive that nearly half of those who are single right now just have stopped dating. It's no longer worth it for them. Because right now, on average, singles are spending $189 for a night out. That's according to a new Bank of Montreal analysis. That's up 12.5% from $168 last year. And guess who's paying the most? Millennials. Millennials on average are spending $252 for a date night. That's a 32% jump from 2025. Gen Z, well, you're spending $205 on average for a date night, up from $194. 14% of those surveyed spend on average $300 or more for a date night. And when you go out, it's not like you're getting a ton for $200 anymore. There are plenty of taxes, you have to make sure to tip. Restaurants are charging an exorbitant amount of money for anything nowadays. According to a recent study done by Mando Media in New York City, for example, for $122, you get a starter, 2 entrees, and 2 cocktails. That's it. That's before tax and tip. Are you a single? Have you stopped dating? Is it too expensive? Let me know. Spread the word. Follow for more.
Explain to me why husbands can't manage to do anything on their own. So the other day I get a phone call. I'm out. It's like 5:30. I'm out with my son and a bunch of kids. I get a phone call. Hey, guess what? It's my husband. I'm like, what? I flagged down a tree guy in the middle of the street. Okay.
Long story short, he asks her to manage that part. And the guy comes over and cuts down all the trees, but doesn't get rid of the stumps. And it seems like she's blaming him for it. He had no way of knowing that this guy wasn't gonna do the entire job. So instead of it being something like, well, this really sucks, let's figure out how to fix it, you now say, oh, men can never do anything on their own. A whole blanket statement for men in general. And not only your man, you act like your man has never, ever done anything right. He might have made a mistake. He hired the wrong guy. It's not like he knew, oh, this guy won't finish the job. Let's hire him.
My husband, and I'm like, hey, is this what you guys agreed on? Now I switch the camera and I FaceTime. I'm like, is this what you discussed? Because I know nothing of this. I wasn't here for this. So is this what was communicated to you in this price? That we would have all these stumps left around the yard? And he was like, no. No, he said he was going to grind them down.
He then asks her to ask him to grind up the stumps because, again, he wasn't home. And she says, no, you can figure it out.
The man can come pick up his money, and you can now deal with all the stumps around my yard that look absolutely ridiculous. And this is why I don't think husbands should be in charge of things.
Yeah, but you were basically in charge, though. And it went wrong. I mean, if you're really looking for someone to blame, you could have told this guy you need to grind up the stumps. Even though you didn't want to be in charge of it, he kind of did delegate it to you and you agreed to do it, so.
And I think it's even gotten to the point where dudes are not at the bar anymore. You don't have guys at the bar anymore. They're not going a lot of places. How come we can't find guys at lounges or bars to buy us drinks? Well, because for one, y'all act like y'all are entitled to the drink. When the man gives you the drink, then y'all sit up there and smirk in his face like, no, get on, be gone. Are you serious? Are you serious? I just paid $15, $20, $30 for a drink for you to be like, now get on. Don't say hi. Don't say thank you. Just, that's what you're supposed to do, as you should. Okay, and I won't be doing it again.
For the first time in history, women aren't choosing partners based on money or financial stability anymore. They're choosing based on personality, on character. And guess what? Now everybody's single, because the moment women started looking for maturity, emotional intelligence, basic communication skills, consistency, and just a brain that actually works, the dating pool started looking like an empty shopping cart in a discount store at 3 a.m. Plenty of options, none worth taking home. Back then it was simple. Men had two requirements: don't lie and provide. That's it. Marriage approved. But now women want someone who can communicate, someone emotionally responsible, self-aware, someone who doesn't disappear the moment they feel something. And just like that, the male population dropped to about 6.5 guys. Women said, relax, I've got my money, my career, my life handled. Now show me who you are. And that's when a lot of men realized personality is no longer optional. Now everybody's single, because the moment character entered the conversation, half the catalog got pulled off the shelf.
You know, these modern women, it's not ignorance, it's just misapply. Like, you're not applying it in the right context, right? Like, you know, say for instance, if a man does something, you know, maybe he's working, and he don't text back. Oh, you know, he's avoidant. You know, you can't really trust this guy, right? And they make a big deal about it. They'll fool around. Obviously, they're gonna text a group. Obviously, they're gonna text anybody and everybody who they know. They're gonna blow up your phone. They're gonna tell TikTok you're a terrible person. But when you look at what she's doing, she don't text back for a few hours. Oh, you know, you know, I'm just maintaining healthy boundaries. You know, you're doing the same thing that I am, but for some reason, I'm wrong about it. I'm the one that's toxic. I'm the one that's avoided. How the heck does that make sense?
Say that again. What did you say?
Why would I want to be with a bum?
How come no man in this room has ever said that about a girl they dated? Because you're all gold-digging skanks. We're romantic. We'll take a bum McDonald's worker. You couldn't do that. No woman's ever done that. You guys date up, we date down. That means every ex-boyfriend you've had was better than you. That's why you let him hit it. Because you guys date up. So you up a lot. Could you marry a Burger King employee?
I won't do that.
Could any girl here do it? Has any girl in history ever done it? You're all dirty gold diggers. Admit you're and you know what's funny?
That's
the point. You abandoned him.
That's fine.
Why did you say past? You said past tense. You said past tense half. Why did you abandon him?
Because of the point we just brought up.
Because he's bum.
No, because I figured out that I need someone financially at my level or higher.
But what if you're married to a leader?
How come the men here don't mind if she's a bum? Because we're the romantic gender and you guys are of the devil.
Every girl has that one guy, the one who ruined her for everybody else. You never get over him. You just learn to live without him. He set the standard. Every kiss after him feels weaker. Every I love you sounds quieter. You also compare silently every single day, even on your wedding day. You settle for safe because dangerous broke you once again and you swore to yourself, never again. You'll say, I'm happy, while staring at the ceiling at night, wondering what he's doing right now. Your physical body will be in the bed next to your husband, but your soul will still be in that old car, that old motorcycle, the old apartment, the old version of you that felt alive. You'll teach your daughters to never settle while secretly knowing you did. One day you will see his name pop up or hear his favorite song and your heart will skip a beat like you're 19 again and you hate yourself for it. If he is not the man who still owns a piece of you, don't put his ring on your finger. Because second choice love turns into first class regret. Marry the man that you cannot live without, not the one that you can live with.
A lot of these social situations now is it just a man really doesn't want to take the risk. He really doesn't want to look like a criminal, right? The man says hi to you at a grocery store, it don't really matter where it is. He tries to make conversation with you, and you're looking at the man sideways. You're looking at the man like he did something wrong. Literally. He coming up like a creep. How? I just said hi. Hey, how you doing? Oh, yeah, I don't want to talk to nobody. Well, that's something that you got to work out within yourself. But you also need to work out how to be polite. Even if y'all don't go anywhere, he don't ask you out. Modern women need to learn how to be polite in general. In general. Woman got mad at another lady for just coming up and saying hello. Just coming up and saying hello. What? I didn't do anything wrong. And then tried to put it on the internet like, oh, why she come over here bothering me? And people down in the comments are like, you look like an idiot. She was just being polite. You need to learn some manners.
Believe that only if we have a good connection will you use your strength for me instead of against me. So where we see strength, the perception of strength causes chemistry. And then we're desperate to connect with the man that we have chemistry, a chemical reaction to.
Every single day, like at some point in the middle of the day, she goes, let's just sit down and connect. And I'm like, and that's always my natural not always, but like she brings that word up almost every day. So what can I do in those moments when I feel like I'm working on something else and she wants to connect without hurting the feeling?
Because he'll give like and then instantly I'm like, oh, you hate me. You think I'm annoying.
A couple things. First, you change the question.
Okay.
Honey, let me know when would be a good time to connect. And he may not be able to let you know right now. He's got to finish what he's doing. And then, hey, I can connect now. Can you connect now? Mm-hmm. Or 6 o'clock. You could do that. Or, my boyfriend, God bless him, we were long distance, and then I moved to his backyard. And I saw more of him when we were long distance than I saw in his backyard. And I was starving for attention, which is another thing men don't know about women. That while trust and respect is a man's access to productivity, greater productivity, and therefore security, interest and attention is our access to connection and feeling safe. So if you're not paying attention, and I wish men could have alarm go off in their head. If their wives are saying, I'm not getting enough attention, that should be 5-alarm fire. Because attention is a safety concern for us. And if I can't get enough attention from this strong person, I gotta get it from another strong person. And so when I blew up about this with Dan, I love this man. I swear Greg sent him to me. Which is one of the first things I told my boyfriend, that my late husband caught the victim.
And one of the things I don't think modern women understand, or they don't want to really give men credit for, is a man being competent. Right? And so they think the way they do things is the more competent way. And they'll sit up in your face and talk to you as if the stuff that you're doing is wrong. Like, God forbid, I don't need art and decoration and all this other stuff. I mean, it's nice to have, but I don't really need it in my apartment. That's not a need. Well, you don't have all of these foods, this, and this in your apartment. It's just me. Why would I have a fridge full of stuff that I'm not going to eat? I have the food that I eat. Oh man, you got this, you got that. You only got ground beef and rice. Is there anything else I actually need? I mean, yeah, I can switch it up and find some other stuff. But there was one woman upset about trainers telling them what to eat and how to operate at a caloric deficit. Basically, as I think I remember it. They don't know women's bodies. What? So they say a lot of stupid stuff. They try to act like men aren't competent, when really, it's just that he doesn't do it the way that you want him to do it. He doesn't allow you to get away with stuff that's not actually true. That's not actually true.
Okay, so I recently went to a singles event and it was 90% women. And I was wondering, like, where's all the dudes? I don't know, but they're not there. And that's cool, not like I care.
Women want what they want. You either get with it or you don't get this. It's that simple. You don't see dudes running around like, yeah, I don't respect women that want money. I don't respect girls that want height. Like, yo, just look at you like, shut up. These are my standards. I don't care. Men need to start being like that. These are my standards, okay? These are my standards. If you don't like it, then shut up. If more guys behave this way, these women would be in place, but they're not. These chicks are out of order. They talk to you like you're an equal. They talk to you like they talk to you like they were the pants in a relationship. And I'm telling you guys, if you get in a relationship like this where you're arguing with your girl, right? It's just the beginning of the end. You're gonna die from blood loss, but it's not gonna happen over one cut. It's gonna be 1,000 paper cuts over years. And then the next thing you know, she's with some named Tyrone. That's an NFL player. So I don't fucking know. So you gotta nip this disrespect in the butt immediately, bro. Immediately.
But the second thing I want to impress upon men is I want to make it cool for you to leave a bad relationship and just, as y'all say, go your own way, right? I'm hearing more and more men express that sentiment where it's not even about finding another woman, like leave the bad marriage just to be at peace. Sometimes that's the outcome. Right? Instead of staying in a marriage where you are disrespected, where there is contempt, where, you know, you're disrespected in front of your child.
Let's clear something up. Healthy, emotional partners aren't demanding. They're just not pretending that dysfunction is normal. And here's the real deal. People who've done their inner work are not hard to love. They're not dramatic. They're not too sensitive. They just recognize emotional inconsistency faster than most. And they know what genuine connection feels like. They know what respectful communication sounds like. And they know what repair looks like. Not avoidance, not disappearing, not defensiveness. So yes, they're going to ask, hey, is everything okay? They're going to seek clarity when something feels off, and they're going to want follow through instead of empty promises. Not because they're trying to pick a fight, but because they value honesty, closeness, and shared responsibility. And here's where relationships get shaky. If you dodge hard conversations more times than not, if you shut down every time tension shows up, if you keep saying over and over again, you're overreacting or can we drop this? Someone with emotional maturity won't stick around for that long, because once they lose trust in how you show up, it's really, really hard to get that back. They're not difficult partners. They're not asking for perfection. They are not perfect themselves. They're simply unwilling to accept half-hearted effort where intimacy is supposed to live. They're not hard to love. They're just impossible to fool. And if you want some more resources and tools, I've got those for you. My link is in the bio.
Okay, this is for you if you feel like there are no good guys left out in the world. I promise you, there are. There are good men, there are kind men, there are compassionate men. Just don't settle. Don't settle, don't entertain these clowns who, you know, just want to hang out with you and don't actually want to take you on dates. Don't even entertain them. Wait for the right one, the one who loves you and is kind to you and who values you. Do not even entertain the ones who don't do that.
We are losing men to peace. We are losing men to ourselves. Men no longer prioritize women. The man at peace is an unbuyable man. Some women are still thinking that men are in that scenario of chasing after, calling, despairing for the lack of a woman, for her absence, when in reality, today's man, he is increasingly valued. He he understood that a woman is not the center of his life, that a woman is not the most important thing in the world. It is perfectly possible to live without one. Today's high-value man, he seeks to make money. He seeks to do business. He seeks to grow, to develop himself. He removed women from his focus. Today's man, he realized that his peace is worth more. There is no relationship that can buy his peace. Today's man, he is unbuyable. He is non-negotiable. The peace he chose for his life has become non-negotiable. If you are a woman and are waiting for a man to venerate you, a man to idolize you, a man to dote on you, I'm very sorry, but perhaps that won't happen, because the more time passes, the more we have seen that today's generation of men is not like the generation of old. And it is we women who have been losing high-value men, serious men, hardworking men, dedicated men.
I don't date broke women, not because I need their money, but because being broke usually means poor choices, weak discipline, and no understanding of how the real world works. If you can't manage your own life, you have no business helping me manage an empire. Money issues destroys more marriages than anything else after sex. So I'm not looking to raise a woman. I'm looking to build with one. And yes, I'll be a provider, but for only a woman who knows how to handle resources and was already resourceful long before I showed up.
When a man no longer wants you, he doesn't always walk away. Sometimes he becomes mean, he gets colder, sharper, less patient, not because you changed, but because he's trying to disconnect without taking responsibility for leaving. A woman, on the other hand, usually becomes calmer. She starts observing instead of arguing, pulling her energy back, preparing herself emotionally. And a weak man won't just say, I don't want this anymore. He'll create discomfort, disrespect, distance. He pushes boundaries until you leave, so he doesn't have to carry the weight of ending it. That behavior isn't confusion, it's avoidance. So when someone becomes unkind instead of honest, listen. That's your cue to leave with your dignity intact.
If it's one thing women know how to do really good, it's keeping other women single.
Yeah,
women give other women the most horrible advice ever.
Yeah. I agree.
So that they can be single just like you. They really have a clandestine jealousy for women who are in a relationship. No one's looking for you. You're no man's first choice. You're absolutely no man's first choice, saying how you don't need no man and how we don't need y'all. What do you mean we, lady? You're only one person. What do you mean we don't need y'all? You are no man's first choice. Stop trying to recruit these young girls and have them recycle your way of thinking to pull them on your side, because these young girls and women that are aligning themselves with the interests of men, they have a chance to go on and have a happy and healthy, fruitful relationship. You don't. But now you're trying to recruit more and more women to come over there and be lonely with your ass.
And what is a stud even good for, bro?
Like, what is a man even good for? Us masculine presenting women can change tires, we can change oils, we can move apartments, we can move houses, we can set up beds, we can set up TVs, we can mount things to the wall. We can pay bills effortlessly with no question. We're natural providers. Not only do we care about you, but we care about a woman's emotional, mental, and physical state of mind. So the real question is, what the do you do? What do you bring to the table besides an insecure, ego-driven, wounded male mindset? You wish you could wear some purple jeans and a boxy shirt and go pull them. You're not pulling. The fact that you get on here and try to put down another group of people to really make yourself feel better says everything we need to know about you, and I'm glad they're eating your ass up in the comments. Silly little boy.
I will say this again and again. Marry a sensitive man. Marry a man who understands your needs. You know, this whole, if he's handsome with it, wow, good on you, good life. But I'm just saying, in the long run, marry somebody who understands your needs. There was one moment, we were in Bombay, and this was the time when I had gone to see him. My mother was with me, and there was a little raindrop. It was raining in Bombay. There was a little drop which kind of fell on my face, and I remember Ajay immediately took out his handkerchief and gave it to me. And my mother came back and said, I am telling you. It seemed such a romantic moment even at that time. But my mom came back and said, you know what? This is what we want. We want a sensitive man. We want somebody who really, really looks after you. And it was a small thing, but it was significant.
So I'm not going to hit this if she can't be potentially...
Oh, no. You got to be successful for me to sit across the table from you. I'll eat out by myself first. The woman that sits across from me has to be extremely successful.
Define successful.
Successful. She got to have her own money. She got to have a home. She got to drive her own car. This is where I'm at in my life.
Even if you know you're not about to be with this girl, she has to have all this?
You still got to have all this.
In case there's a mistake.
No, not because of a mistake. It's just the way I move. But I earned the right to move like that. And see, what happens when you're young?
Shoulders too.
When you're young, you don't have enough experience to see that.
Right.
When you get to be my age, you know exactly where you're supposed to be. That's all.
Right.
And most men will get there and see it. Some won't. Some guys get married and stuck with the same girl. There's nothing wrong with that. I think you should do what you want to do. I tell people, try not to listen to me too much because you be by yourself. But I love the way my life is.
And for those reasons, I'm breaking up with you. Okay. What do you think about that? I appreciate you letting me know I'm not your person, and that's okay. You're not going to say anything? No, I'm not going to say anything because then it would appear that I'm trying to convince you to be with me. What about the reasons I want to break up with you? It really doesn't matter what reason you gave for wanting to break up with me. You don't even owe me a reason. The point is you don't want to be with me. That's it. Yep, that's it. I would have been happy to have a conversation with you about the experiences you felt like you were having to make the relationship better, but you already decided you don't want a relationship with me. I'm not going to be in a situation with my partner that expects me to grovel or beg. And I definitely don't want to be with someone who ends things so casually and easily to make a point or get a reaction out of me. I deserve a relationship built off mutual respect and commitment.
If you're asking yourself where are all the good men, according to my Instagram poll of 167,000 men, 26% are taken, 22% are single, but they just straight up don't want a relationship, which leaves approximately 50% of men that are available. Oh wait, but out of that, only 12% of men are actively dating, and 40% of men are looking to date, but they're waiting for a unicorn to come to them. I think that when women are asking where are all the good men, they're talking about that 40%. Well, ladies, the men in the 40% are the men that are working overtime instead of going out and dating, because honestly, they would rather look at the weather app or check their crypto investments rather than ask another girl off of Hinge how her day was for 5 days in a row. They would rather go fishing with the guys or even fishing by themselves rather than spend another $200 on a first date that goes nowhere. And when these men are not at work, they're probably at the gym, playing video games, or maybe ignoring people, which is kind of understandable.
So let me get this straight. You're married to him, right? You guys are actually married. You guys are in a committed connection. You guys are only with each other. But yet when he wants it, you don't want to give it to him. But then when you want it, you convince him to lay down with you, right? But then all this time passes in between. And so what happens is you're teaching him to no longer desire you. You're teaching him to no longer want you. And then when he doesn't come towards you, then you're like, oh, well, is he cheating? Something's wrong. But when he does come towards you, then you deny him. So what is it that you want him to do? Because at the end of the day, if you signed up to be the sole provider of this man and you are expecting him to only be with you, then why aren't you providing that one thing that only you can provide, that you signed up to provide? Out of here.
If someone asks me what kind of man I want, I won't say tall. I won't say rich. I won't say perfect. I'll say, I want a man who protects my feelings, not just my body. A man who never makes me question my worth. Who doesn't disappear when things get hard. Who doesn't use silence as a weapon. I want someone who communicates, even when it's uncomfortable, even when his voice shakes. Someone who chooses me, Not just when it's easy, not just when I'm convenient, but every single day. I want a man who stays gentle, even when life isn't, who doesn't turn cold just because the world did. Someone who sees my tears and doesn't shame them, but holds me like I'm something precious. I don't need expensive dates. I don't need grand gestures. I don't need perfect. I want kind. I want safe. I want someone who feels like home.
Unpopular opinion. Being a man has to be one of the toughest jobs in this world, because when I hear some of the requests that these women have and how they can contradict themselves when they telling you what they want, I get confused. You're not allowed to be sensitive, but how dare you not open up and talk about how you feeling? I need you to be a leader, but you need to understand that I'm not going to follow you and you can't lead me anywhere. I want you to be strong, but show some kind of vulnerability, but not too much, because now I'm going to think that you're weak, because strength and vulnerability can't seem to coexist. I want you to be there for me at all points in times, but understand that I'm still going to be very independent and not need you for certain things. I need you to read my mind, but don't assume you know what I'm thinking. Be financially stable, but have a whole bunch of free time, even though it takes time to make money to take care of this family. I want you to meet all my needs, but don't assume you know everything that I need right off top. How is it that when you don't know exactly what you need and what you want, he's supposed to know? When you hear it out loud, don't it sound silly?
A lot of men raised by single mothers had to grow up and unlearn a lot of what they were taught. And people don't talk about that enough. Because when there's no masculine presence in the home, a mother's pain could become a son's program. And if she was betrayed, abandoned, hurt, sometimes she teaches him how to survive women based on her wounds and not reality. She'll teach him, always be the nice guy. Don't question women. Keep proving yourself. Keep giving. Keep tolerating. Keep fixing. As a boy, you trusted because it came from your mother. But then you become a man. You get into real relationship and you realize being a good man and being a weak man are not the same thing. And you realize loving a woman don't mean letting her disrespect you. You realize protecting and providing don't mean you getting used. You realize accountability goes both ways. And that's when the conflicts start, because now you'll realize the woman who taught you how to deal with women may have been teaching you trauma, not wisdom. And that realization could create resentment, not because you hate your mother, because you had to suffer and learn what she couldn't teach. A lot of men weren't raised to lead. They were raised to adapt to feminine comfort, and the world will punish you for that. That's why some men don't wake up until heartbreak, until divorce, until betrayal, and finally realize everything that hurt me was connected to everything I was taught to tolerate. Look, love your mama, but audit your programming, because not everything that your parents taught you was true. Some of it was survival, and survival patterns don't create healthy relationships.
Why men are losing interest in dating. A lot of men flat out don't see a clear upside anymore. What, he has to beg to be in a relationship so he can pay your bills? He can't expect reciprocation at all. There's high risk of ghosting when he could have just hung out with some friends. They're exhausted from dating apps. He might send out 50 messages to maybe get 2 replies. And just maybe one of those might turn into an actual date, if he's lucky. And they're swiping for hours, days, just feels like rejection over and over again. Conversations stall constantly, and he's expected to make the first move and come up with something interesting constantly. If at any point he's not interesting, or even sometimes when he is interesting, that's still not good enough. She might just ghost him randomly for no reason, and he doesn't know why. A lot of women, the infinite options makes all these individual men feel very disposable. Constant competition, and a lot of women will actually rub this in a man's face. All of her Instagram DMs that she gets, dating app matches, all the validation she gets off social media when these people don't even know her in real life. Yes, he feels like he has to compete with all of that. Also, dating is expensive. Dinners, dates, even if he takes out every woman to a coffee date, it still adds up over time. Also, he's got to make sure he's got good housing, because, most women won't date a man that lives with his parents, and he knows that. He's got to pay for education, potentially, or certificates, so he can grow his career to be more attractive. All the grooming and hygiene. Dating is very expensive for men, despite a lot of women believing that that's not the case.
A man who's tasted real desire from a woman will never chase again, because once you felt the genuine hunger from a woman's soul, everything else feels fake. Ever had a woman who wanted you without hesitation? Not for attention, not convenience, not for validation, but because her spirit was genuinely drawn to you. When a woman looks at you like you're the only man in the room, when she pulls you into her space naturally, when she chooses you without you needing to prove a thing, that changes it. It rewires you. It kills the urge to beg. It kills the urge to chase. It kills the urge to prove your worth. See, real desire from a woman can't be bought. You can't negotiate it. You can't text your way into it. You can't simp your way into it. You can't force it, no matter how nice you are. Real desire shows up in her actions long before it shows up in her words. It's in the way she looks at you, the way she listens, the way she makes space for you in her world. When you've experienced that, every other connection feels like a discounted version. Man doesn't stop chasing women because he's broken. He stops chasing because he's finally seen the difference. He's seen what it looks like when a woman's soul recognizes energy. He's seen what it looks like when he's chosen, not tolerated. And once you learn the difference between being wanted and being used as an option, you refuse to settle again. That's why real men don't chase. Not because they're cold, but because they know what real connection feels like now. One taste of genuine desire ruins you for anything less. You can't go back to performing. You can't go back to begging. You can't go back to chasing. Once you've been chosen, you'll never forget that feeling.
Is it true that women marry who they can settle for and not who they want?
No, I think that women sleep with who they want. Men sleep with who they can. Men marry who they want, but women marry who they can, right? So it's the inverted action of it. And I think that we as women, I don't think that we just settle inside of marriage. I think that we choose a person, sometimes to our detriment. I think that we lack the ability to vet it out because we've been taught not to date more than one person at a time. And I don't mean sleep with multiple people. I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying genuinely getting to know. And then what happens? You'll be on a date. Let's say you go on a date 4 times in the month. You hit it off with one guy, then you cut off all the other 3. But the truth is you might spend 6 months with this one guy that you didn't even like, not knowing that it was guy number 3 that could have been your future forever. And now you cut that man off because of a man that kind of made you feel a certain type of way. And so I would just really challenge women to be much more logical in the sense of who they're choosing and why they're choosing them. Monetary, although that is important, it's not enough. A beautiful body, although that's nice to have, it's not enough. The real nitty gritty inside of relationships that last is your mental, emotional, and spiritual strength. If you don't have those things, the body and the money don't matter. I know people that have all the money and they're super depressed. You know, they're sad, they're miserable. They feel like what's it all for? Nothing even matters. They run through people, they run through relationships. They can't keep solid people in their lives, right? And then I also know people that are rich, that have the mental capacity, the spiritual content. Yes, everything. And so it's just a different level of life when you're able to have the things that matter most, and the way that you look and the money that you have are icing on the cake. Right. But I think we as women need to look for what matters most.
Understand that they have to understand is for a lot of men, they're getting used to peace. They're getting used to silence. They're getting used to not having to hear about nonsense, not having to hear about the foolishness that you got going on, how he ain't paying attention to you every second of the day, just a whole bunch of nonsense. And I understand there are problems, if he's slacking off and stuff like that. I get it. But a lot of times modern women keep up mess wherever they go. There's always something wrong. It's never them. It's never them. Well, I wouldn't do this if you wouldn't do this. It's always somebody else. They never, ever once stop and say, maybe the problem was me this time. Maybe I'm the one keeping up the trouble. Maybe I should apologize. That never, ever crosses their mind. Well, let me say, sometimes it crosses their mind. On the small chances that it does cross their mind, they have their handy dandy friends group to tell them, oh, he was definitely wrong. None of it was your fault. None of it. You were completely 120% right. He was negative 120% wrong. Well, I guess you would say negative 120% right. He'd be 120% wrong. He would be infinity% wrong because he's a bum. So don't apologize to him. Have him apologize to you, take you on a vacation, give you really, really nice flowers, anything and everything that you want for the next 3 years.